The Dirty Sports Podcast.
Andy, I am more upset
with Knicks fans
than I am with James Dolan, because James Dolan doing a piece of shit move to a former Knick and ruining the organization isn't a surprise to me. This is like, to me, arguably top 5 terrible James Dolan decisions.
You seem calm right now, though. I know you're worked up about this.
I am, because Knicks fans infuriate me, because this is what Knicks fans do. They all come out of the woodwork when it goes devastatingly wrong, and now they're like, this is why he's the worst owner in sports, 17 years of this mess, fire Dolan. It's like, dude, I've been saying fire Dolan literally every day for 17 years, but suddenly Knicks fans, meanwhile, Knicks fans love every Dolan decision until it backfires. When he hired Isaiah, Knicks fans were like, yeah, we got fucking Isaiah. And then Isaiah got Marbury. He's like, yeah, Steph, 20 and fucking 12 every night. Steph Marbury, this is going to be sick. Everybody went out and bought a Marbury jersey. And then they're like, oh, fuck, Marbury and Steve Francis? Holy shit. This is like an NBA Live backcourt. We're going to the fucking finals. And then, like, it fails, and they're like, oh, fuck. Fire whoever's coaching and get rid of Marbury. And then it's like, oh, fuck, we got T-Mac? T-Mac? Oh, it's lit. We got fucking T-Mac. And they're like, oh, T-Mac's old and sucks. Forget that. Like, holy shit, did you see we're going to have Lenny Wilkins as the coach? Larry Brown's going to be the coach? Then every fucking time they do this. And then they go, oh, well, this is a disaster. Fire Dolan. Meanwhile, you can literally, like 6 months ago, talk to Knicks fans and be like, how about Mike D'Antoni? And they're like, Mike D'Antoni, piece of trash coach, came here, ruined the fucking team, blah, 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 blah. Look what he did with the Lakers. It's like, yeah, look what he did with the garbage Knicks roster and the Lakers with hurt Steve Nash, old-ass hurt Kobe, and Dwight Howard. Meanwhile, now Mike D'Antoni's going to win fucking Coach of the Year. The only glimmer of hope we've had in 17 years was when James Dolan turned the team over to Donnie Walsh. Donnie Walsh hired Mike D'Antoni, and they started putting together a team of young guys. And I'll give Isaiah Thomas credit for one thing. He drafts well. David Lee was a nice draft pick. He had a couple, Trevor Ariza. He had some young guys. He was good at scouting talent. And Mike D'Antoni and Walsh took that team, and they were on their way to somewhere. They were going to make the playoffs.
Okay, well then let me hop in.
And then what happened?
Well, they got Melo.
Well, and how did that happen? James Dolan dropped in and was like, I want Carmelo Anthony, and forced Donnie Walsh to do it. And what did Knicks fans do? They fucking jacked off in their fucking Knicks warm-ups. Like, oh my God, we're going to get Carmelo Anthony. This is sick. Oh my God, fucking top 5 player in the NBA. Oh my God, we're going to the finals every fucking year. And what did I say? Carmelo Anthony, trash human being, going to be horrible. Gonna run Mike D'Antoni out of town because he's a ball stopper. The Knicks are going to be awful. What did he do? Ran Mike D'Antoni out of town, ran Donnie Walsh out of town, ran Linsanity out of town, and then Knicks fans are like, oh, fuck, this is a fucking, oh, James Dolan's a piece of shit. It's like, you guys were the one that were all so excited that James Dolan forced the Knicks to trade Gallinari and Wilson Chandler and Mozgov and a first fucking rounder for Carmelo Anthony. And, oh, we're going to get Bargnani. This is sick. Failure. All they fucking do is get excited and then fail. And also, Knicks fans, fuck you if you wear Jordans. If you wear Jordans, you're not a real Knicks fan. You're a fake-ass Knicks fan. Real Knicks fans would never wear Michael Jordans. I see this all the time. Like, guys sitting in the front row with Jordans on, like, oh, yeah, look at this. I'm in the Garden. Like, fuck you. I hate Knicks fans at this point because this is what they do. Now it's all gone bust. Melo sucks. The team sucks. They had their worst record in franchise history 2 years ago, and now everybody's fire Dolan. Get rid of Dolan. Like, you guys were the ones that were holding him on a pedestal when he got Isaiah and all of these moves. And Melo. Everybody was so excited for Melo and Stoudemire. It's like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. You're basically saying this. They're all dumb fans.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? There are smart Knicks fans.
But people still. Here's what I don't understand. People still defend Melo.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Which I just don't understand. They give him this weird pass. Guys, the farthest he went is the Western Conference Finals once.
when they gave him everybody.
And he had Chauncey. He had J.R. Smith.
Yep.
Who else did he? He had some.
Camby.
Camby, like defensive stopper. I mean, he had players. So everybody gives fucking Melo this pass, which I don't understand.
And the same. And not only do Knicks fans do that, Knicks fans also same thing. I'll go back to my because I don't hate anybody in basketball more than I hate Carmelo Anthony, and I don't love anybody in basketball more than I hate Mike D'Antoni. They're still doing that for D'Antoni. Like, oh, D'Antoni's a trash coach. We were never going anywhere with D'Antoni. He's going to win Coach of the Year. He just turned James Harden into an MVP. Like, James Harden has assisted on more three-pointers this season than anybody in a full season in NBA history.
Well, remind me of this. What happened a few years ago when they had Woodson as their head coach and they won, was it like 55 games?
Yeah, and they lost in the second round to the Pacers.
Sure.
And then the Pacers lost to the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Heat won the championship.
But that had been the first time that the Knicks had made the playoffs since '99.
They got swept by the Celtics the year before.
Okay.
Right? The year that Stoudemire got hurt and blah, 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 blah.
So for me, a lot of this, and I know what you're saying, and I agree, it's just blunder after blunder. By the way, here's a quick stat on Dolan, which I thought was really interesting. The Dolan Oakley thing. In 10 years, while Oakley played for the Knicks, they won 70 playoff games. In the 17 years
and by
that
the
Dolan,
way, that I think Oakley was with the Knicks 88 to 98.
Correct.
They probably missed the playoffs the first couple of years. So essentially in like 8 years, they were winning like 9, 10 playoff games a year.
So they won 70 playoff games in Oakley's 10 years with the Knicks. Since James Dolan has taken over, they've won 9 playoff games in 17 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that stat alone says it. But here's the problem, as you know. You can't get rid of the guy. He owns the team.
Right.
You can't force him to sell the team.
And also, the way you force him to sell the team is by staying on it constantly. But what he'll do tomorrow is he'll do something like he did with Phil Jackson or something like he did with Larry Brown or something like he did with Isaiah Thomas, where he'll bring in somebody.
Like a quick fix?
Well, he'll bring
quick
He'll
fix.
bring in somebody with a name,
Yeah.
and people will lose their mind. You know why? Because the embodiment of Knicks fans these days is Spike Lee. Knows nothing about basketball, sits in the front row, talks all the time, flashy as shit.
He wore the Oakley jersey today.
Yeah. Suddenly he's a fucking Charles Oakley fan. I remember when he was sitting in the front row, in his Isaiah Thomas years. He's like, oh, fucking Steph Marbury's my boy. Oh, T-Mac's here. Oh, he's that guy. And he has become Knicks fans. And I am the person who, for the whole time, has been like trash decision after trash decision. I mean, there are Knicks fans who buy into the Ewing theory, that the Knicks were better without Ewing. It's like, you're an idiot. The Knicks were good that when Ewing went down under Van Gundy, because Van Gundy was too much of a douche to run the offense through anybody besides a 40-year-old Patrick Ewing. This is the curse of Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing should have retired a Knick. The fact that we traded Patrick Ewing, this is like the curse of the Bambino. This is the curse of the Ewing.
Do you think anybody, I want to read Reggie Miller's tweet, which I thought was a good tweet. He said, if you're a free agent to be, why would you play for an owner who treats the past greats like this, or a president who stabs star players in the back? Which I think is a good point, which then brings me to another point.
Well, that's two different points, though. If you're a free agent to be, why would you play for an owner who treats the past like that? Great question. Then go to the other one, or a president who what was the other thing? Stabs a star player in the back?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a dig at Phil Jackson with Carmelo.
Yeah, but that's a subtle reference to Carmelo Anthony being a star player. In what league?
Yeah.
In what league? Carmelo is a star if he goes to Israel
even
right
the
now,
analysts,
or Greece.
But they all say that shit. If you watch all these analysts, they're still drinking the Carmelo Kool-Aid. Which blows my mind.
If you win 17 games on a team, you don't have a star. There's no star on a team that wins 17 games.
Yeah.
There are no stars if you have 17 wins. There are 0 stars on your team. Stars win basketball games. Stars can go 500 by themselves.
Do you think it matters?
I'm not a Kobe Bryant lover, as we all know. I hate Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
And
you almost gave up your life for him, though.
Right. But don't forget, I've said it a million times. When Shaq left, Kobe turned into nothing, right? The Lakers were trash. But he carried them to 500 teams by himself.
And they still made the playoffs.
Yeah. They're an 8 seed. Kobe Bryant is a good enough player that he got to the Lakers an 8 seed by himself.
Which I might add, with Smush Parker as your point guard.
By himself.
Yeah.
By himself. Carmelo Anthony is the type of star player that wins you 17 games by himself. You can win 17 games just showing up.
Do you think it matters? And I've listened to so many people talk about this, and I was listening to the I Am Rappaport podcast, because of course he's a diehard Knicks guy like you. And he had a big debate on his podcast with G. Moody as far as do people give a shit about the Knicks anymore? And I thought that's an interesting discussion. I've always argued in this show, it's good for all pro sports for the big cities to have good teams.
Yeah.
So Chicago, New York, LA. But I will say, I think things have changed so much that, Cleveland is good, and Golden State, and Dallas obviously won a title recently. I'm saying these cities that aren't the quote unquote big cities.
Well, winning basketball and what's important to basketball is different. You listen to players who go to play at Madison Square Garden. They're going in to play a 17-win Carmelo-led team, and they're like, oh, but I'm at the Garden. I'm going to put on a show for the Garden. It's the Garden. And, the Knicks haven't won a championship since 1973.
Yeah.
I mean.
So you say you think it still matters?
I think it still matters because it's Madison Square Garden and it's New York City. The name on the jersey doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's the Knicks. It's New York City and it's Madison Square Garden. The players in the NBA now don't even – I bet you Kevin Durant couldn't tell you one player on that championship Knicks team.
From 73?
Yeah. And
who was on that team?
I mean, Phil Jackson.
Was Bill Bradley on that team?
Yeah. All those guys,
Sure.
Earl Monroe, Bernard King, those guys are all on that team. But I don't think these kids are 25 years old now.
But it's still, I would agree that that Madison Square Garden in general, the venue, is arguably the most historic in the world.
Right. But this is Knicks fans' fault. Because they didn't do what Dodgers fans did with McCourt, and they didn't do what Clippers fans did with Sterling. They didn't turn on them all at once. This is just another flash in the pan, 2 weeks that Knicks fans are going to be like, fire Dolan, and then he's going to make some move. He's going to go ahead and he's going to name Kobe Bryant the coach of the team, and Knicks fans are like, oh my God, Kobe Bryant, this is so exciting. Spike's so excited for Kobe. Oh, look, I'm going to sit down by Spike. Oh my God, this is so great. Maybe Kobe will be a player coach. This is going to be awesome. And it's like Kobe Bryant is the stupidest basketball mind on the planet. All he knows is shoot every time he gets the fucking ball. Why would you want him to be the coach? Same way, why would you want any of these guys? Why would you ever mortgage your future for Carmelo Anthony when you have Donnie Walsh and Mike D'Antoni turning around the team? Mike D'Antoni made Chris Duhon have the most assists in a game in Knicks history. Mike D'Antoni.
Is Duhon even in the league anymore?
No. David Lee had 55 double-doubles in a season.
I feel like your bias for D'Antoni is the Italian thing, though.
He's a great basketball coach.
Is he great?
Yeah, he is. Look what he did. Look what he did with the Rockets. Yeah, you give him one literally semi-decent player, and he turns your team around. And not only that, he takes players and he makes them something that no one could ever have seen coming. James Harden, again, I'll give you this stat, is going to have by far the most assists on three-pointers in NBA history. That's a great stat in the modern NBA.
Yeah.
Assisting three-pointers.
So what's your message to Knicks fans?
Kill yourselves. Honestly, just kill yourselves. You're stupid. Learn basketball. If you there are people out there who still think Carmelo's better than Kevin Love. There are, and I don't want to name names here. I've gotten arguments with Knicks fans that I'm friends with.
No, name names. That's what we do on the Dirty Sports Podcast.
And the bottom line is,
we need to get Spike Lee on the phone. Can we get Spike Lee on the phone?
Spike Lee will be like, "Oh, it's all gonna be fine." But
Spike Lee's been dissing Phil Jackson.
Yeah, because Spike Lee's racist. Bring in Mike Brown, and he's gonna be like, "Oh my God, this is the best coach in NBA history. I'm so glad we got rid of D'Antoni." It's like, Spike, fuck you.
Have you ever met Spike Lee?
Yeah, I've sat behind him. You know what the thing about Spike is? He's just a total fraud. I used to sit in I've told this story before. My dad made Patrick Ewing suits. When he worked for Donna Karen.
And he was so tall, right? Didn't he have to get on a ladder?
My dad had to stand on a table because my dad's 5'6". Yeah.
It's amazing.
But
how big's his dick?
He didn't.
You gotta ask your dad that. I mean, Patrick,
he didn't take it out. While
he's a 7-foot black man, but you're measuring his body. I'd assume he's got a python in there.
But he used to get seats, and he would give my dad his seats, and I would sit in Ewing seats, which were right next to Ahmad and Felicia Richard, which was awesome. And 4 rows right behind Spike.
So you were right there. That's pretty cool, man.
And I would get like way into games.
Sure.
I mean, you've seen the way I watch,
Yeah, you're annoying to watch sports with.
Right.
Because you care. Now, how old are you at these times?
15, 16.
Oh, so the perfect age.
17, 18,
Yeah.
late 90s, early 2000s. And I would like yell at the players, but strategy and shit. You know what I mean? Like, weak side man.
The young Joey No Chill.
And Spike Lee, one time, turned around and was looking at me like, yo, chill out. And I'm like, okay, mister, giving Reggie Miller the choke sign. Is somebody stealing your thunder? Go find a stupid hat to wear.
And who wears stupider hats, Spike Lee or Johnny Depp?
I mean, Johnny Depp at least has a go-to stupid hat. Spike Lee is always in some dumb shit.
Right?
Spike Lee's like, oh, today I'm going to wear a Civil War soldier's hat. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Spike Lee's a fake fan. And honestly, at this point,
that's a pretty big diss, though, Brandon, to call him a fake fan.
Fake fan.
I mean, he's a fan. Why is he a fake fan?
Because he doesn't know basketball.
So you're just saying he's an ignorant fan.
Yeah. As I've learned, so many Knicks fans are. If you were on board with Carmelo, you're an ignorant Knicks fan. You're a stupid Knicks fan. If you still think Mike D'Antoni's a dumb basketball coach, you're a stupid Knicks fan. The proof is all there. Every time Dolan makes a good move, literally the only one he made, he fucked it up. He came in, he went back to his boy Isaiah Thomas. What should I do? You should trade for Carmelo Anthony. And Knicks fans were psyched about it.
Yeah.
And so it's on you. Why is this team this way? Why is Charles Oakley at the Garden yelling at James Dolan? Because he ran Donnie Walsh and Mike D'Antoni out of town. That's why we are where we are right now. Because the moment that they had to be a great team, he ruined it personally. And Charles Oakley's there telling him he's a piece of shit. And guess what? Every Knicks fan that wanted Carmelo Anthony, you're a part of it. Charles Oakley's yelling at you. You're the reason this team is a disaster. You're the reason we won 17 games 2 years ago.
Yeah, and right now, are you guys? I haven't even looked. Where are the Knicks at as far as the playoff race?
Not in it or close. They're a dumpster fire. They're gonna have the 3rd overall pick.
Even
if we didn't trade it for Andrea Bargnani or Eddie Curry's corpse. You remember when we traded multiple first-round draft picks for Eddie Curry after he missed the postseason with a heart condition?
Yeah, that's not a good move.
And Knicks fans were like, we got a big man. It's happening. Oh. I'm so angry at Knicks fans. They're all the worst.
Are you calling the Knicks fans the dumbest fans out there?
No, I'm not, because there are smart Knicks fans. But you know what the problem is? In New York City, the people that can afford to sit close at Madison Square Garden.
The celebrities.
Yeah,
a lot
celebrities, finance guys, blah, 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 blah. They're all just, they don't know anything about basketball. They're like, Carmelo Anthony's good, right? He makes an all-star game every year. It's like, yeah, other idiot fans like you vote for him.
But I will say that's probably, not to defend Knicks fans, every city, all the rich white guys who sit up front, what do they really know about sports?
Right. But Knicks fans love to be vocal.
Yeah, that's true.
And love to act like they're the mecca of basketball. And the bottom line is there was a time where Knicks fans got it, but that time is long gone. And honestly, it started with the Dolan era. And all these Knicks fans jumped on board to all the terrible decisions. Every terrible decision. We got T-Mac. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. T-Mac? At 35, we got T-Mac?
All right. Let's talk some other basketball. Obviously, you're worked up.
Very worked up. Taking off my warm-up.
I was taking off the warm-up. It's getting serious. Where'd you get that outfit, by the way?
Look at this. A good shirt, right? I got the warm-up gear a couple of years ago for Christmas. And then this, my boy Kevin Power, host of Kevin Power Podcast Hour, sent it to me in the mail. Traded it straight up for a Giants polo shirt, which I'll never wear.
We need to get some used Patrick Ewing stuff. Remember how much he sweat?
Yeah.
Remember how much he sweat? I want to put on some.
The curse of Ewing.
I want to put on a used Patrick Ewing jockstrap. See how that feels.
The Knicks franchise is drowning in Ewing sweat because they traded Patrick Ewing. It's the curse of Ewing.
What if they made
whatever? Ewing wasn't very good the last few years. Shh, you're the worst, Knicks fans.
What if they made Ewing the head coach? How would you
Great.
feel about that?
I'd feel terrible about it. He probably has no idea how to run a basketball team. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a 7 foot set. He was a 7 foot center. That guy got by solely on athleticism, and I'll give Patrick Ewing some credit. He made great changes to his game with turnaround jump shot and whatever. But like, is Patrick Ewing a basketball mind? No.
Well, we got to talk.
But that's the kind of thing that they'll do. James Dolan will be like, oh
to
my
appease
God.
the fans.
Yeah, he'll be like, how do I get the fans back on my side? I'll make Patrick Ewing the head coach. And then what'll happen is 200,000 Knicks fans who are so excited that they traded Patrick Ewing to the fucking Supersonics will be like, oh my God, Big Pat's our coach. Oh, this is the best. The Knicks are back. Oh, I'm just gonna go to next time I go to New York, I'm just gonna walk around Madison Square Garden punching Knicks fans.
Can we videotape that? Can we live do that?
If you wanted Carmelo Anthony, you're the goddamn devil. You're the worst Knicks fan. Kill yourself.
Here's the last thing I'm gonna say about the Knicks. I think they should completely bottom out. That you might say, oh, they've bottomed out. I know you might be thinking that.
They won 17 games 2 years ago,
No.
and they just threw Charles Oakley out. 14 security guards threw Charles Oakley out, and then they came back with, he's a drunk.
Here's how you bottom out. You make Whoopi Goldberg, like the movie Eddie, the Knicks head coach. That's how you bottom out. Make Whoopi Goldberg the head coach, real life Eddie.
Yeah.
Then you're done.
Honestly, if James Dolan hired Whoopi Goldberg, Knicks fans would be like, oh my God, she won a championship in Eddie. Oh my God, she's going to do it. You know what she did in Eddie is she got rid of the crazy asshole owner. She's going to get rid of Dolan. Also, Spike would be ecstatic. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
He's like, also, we're remaking the color purple. This is going to be the best.
Whoopi Goldberg should coach the Knicks. I think we figured it out. All right, let's talk about the Thunder.
The Dirty Sports Podcast.